Been a while. Hey Saners, bit of an impromptu live. I just felt like doing it, just cause. Hopefully you're all going well and yeah, just healthy and excited for the new season. So I thought this could be a good way to launch into getting back into lives for the new year. I know a lot of people are, getting a bit impatient. Podcast is still being planned. Yes, a lot of things in the works. So forgive me if the content slowed down a little bit, but we're building nicely to a big year hopefully. And I thought, Intraclub was great today just to get down there. Good opportunity to do a live and chat about it, but also just kind of see where everyone's at in terms of the players. I've got a full list here of every player that played today, and we can go through them. And obviously, not just my thoughts, Saners, it's also to hear your thoughts. So if you went to the game today, please, comment your thoughts. Let me know what you thought about it and who stood out to you and who might not be in the round one team based on today. And we can knuckle down and get into it. But yeah, for me, in terms of the Intraclub as a whole, I thought it was really well done by the club. I thought, it would have been nice to get more Saners there, but the 600 that turned up were pretty vocal, pretty excited, a lot of enthusiasm in the air, perfect weather for it. The turf was literally laid like a day ago, so it's brand new. And that's the feeling that you get from the club, is everything's kind of new and it's a good quality. And to see the Danny Frawley stand up there, red, white and black seats, looks immaculate. Obviously the concourse was there last year is fantastic. And just to see the boys running around and the new faces and the players that we've loved for many years is really cool. So I'm really, really excited for this year. I'm really enthusiastic. So, I think enough of you are tuning in so we can get started. So I guess from what I saw from the game, obviously there was the white team and the black team, and I don't know if anyone noticed, but that's the new kits, kind of the training kits. And I thought they were really great. Subtle stripes on them, really nice. I'm definitely going to try and buy those if I can. But what I saw in terms of lineups was the white team had basically what was the starting, back line for round one. It had Dukes, it had Wilkie, it had Sinks, Battle at centre half back that looked pretty good. He played on King at times and looked pretty confident and was able to handle him pretty well. Heimer was back there. Ben Patton, great to see him back there, and he did some really nice things. He came off sore a few times, which was a bit of a worry, but he was putting his body on the line early and got a lot of the ball and used it really well. But yeah, the white team had basically the best back line, and the black team had basically our starting forward line, and that's Max King, Tim Membry, Rowan Marshall resting there. On top of that, you've got Butler, Higgins, Gresh was down there. There was no Billings, no Paddy Ryder, no Dan Hanbury, and no Leo Connolly. They're all on their own sort of reduced training schedules at the moment. I spoke to a few people at the club yesterday and today, and they basically said that they're not really injured. They're just kind of being managed carefully because they're coming off some injuries, or they are injury prone, as we know with Hannah's. Just taking it easy, and hopefully maybe against Carlton next week, but definitely against Essendon in the Community Series in a couple of weeks, early March. They'll hopefully get a run there, and then you've got round one, so they get at least a game under their belt then. So, I thought it was clever the way the lineups was. Usually with these sort of things, you split them up, and it's just kind of, you don't know who's playing on who, and it's a free-for-all. But there was a real clear plan for the white team. I thought they were trying to chip it out and play slow tempo. And the black team, at least for the first half, were trying to play fast, frenetic. And that's why I think Zach Jones was probably best on ground, because he was just everywhere. He was running hard, kicking goals, getting clearances, tackling, pressure. He was so enthusiastic. He was as if he was playing round one. He took it that seriously, and he's so switched on, to the point where he basically poleaxed Ryan Burns on the wing. I don't know if anyone saw that, but he just completely smashed him right in front of me. But another thing I noticed that really stood out to me was Burns' The fact that he took the hit, he got up, he got to the next contest, got to the contest after that, got the ball, got hit again, got the ball and kicked it out, and he just kept pushing. And that's something that I love about our youngsters, is that they're bloody tough. Ryan Burns is going to be a star. He was a clear standout for me as well. I've got some notes here I'm just reading off during the game. But he just runs all day. Dan McKenzie did exactly what he did last year. He runs all day and created space. His ball use was good. Brad Hill was really impressive. Dukes held Max King really well. He was pretty aggressive, but it seemed like he timed it differently to last year, and he didn't go for every ball. He kind of knew when support was coming, and he could wait back instead of, Battle and Dukes going up for the same ball, and then it falls, and then you're outnumbered and they get an easy goal. So there were a few little tactical changes. A few people have asked in the comments how Steele went. He was, his wonderful self. He didn't get a heap of the ball, and I think obviously his time was managed. But from what he got, he was just clean. And there was a few occasions where he'd get the ball around like 3 players in the middle of the ground trying to tackle him, and then they all just run one way, and he turns and he's off on, kicking the ball inside 50 unscathed. He just knows how to get out of traffic, and he just took it easy, but he did what he had to do. In terms of some new names, Winhager, out of the blocks in the first half, was leading hard off half forward and showed a lot. He knows where to lead. He's got that good explosive speed off that 10 to 15 meter mark on his opponent. He got that. He got a lot of marks on the lead, and he kicked pretty well inside 50. So his first half was definitely much stronger than his second half, but overall he showed plenty. Owens didn't get a lot of the ball, but when he was near it, he always did something special. He was very explosive. His height when he jumps is outrageous. He's able to leap and get the ball a lot higher than a lot of mids, because obviously he's about 6'2", 6'3". Jack Hayes, again, speaking of tall mids, number 47 he was today. Not officially signed yet, but I can't really give too much away, but we could be pretty confident he's going to be a Saints player, so no need to worry about that too much. He's enormous. He's an absolute unit. So if we can get him across the line, sign him up, he's going to be a serious X factor for our midfield. He took some really good marks, amongst a lot of pressure, and we've not really had that outlet outside of King and Marshall, but to have a midfielder able to do that, and obviously Owens could turn into that as well as he matures and puts on a bit more weight. He's about 4 or 5 years younger than Hayes, but he was wonderful and did enough to impress all Sainters. And Sinclair, there's not much else you can say about him. He continued on from his form from last year and was really good rebounding from the back line. Cal Wilkie was not beaten once. Cal Wilkie did what Cal Wilkie's done for 63 consecutive games and won his one-on-ones. Whether it was against a small or a tall or a medium-sized forward, he did what he had to do and won a lot of battles. Sharman was the one that really caught my eye. He didn't have a lot of the ball again, but he kicked, I think, 2 goals in the black team, and he changed over to the white team, kicked a goal there too. And he was just clean with the ball. He's the sort of player that he'll have 4 or 5 kicks per game inside 50, and that's 4 goals won or 5 goals straight. That's how well he kicks. And his set shot was beautiful, and he kicked kind of an opportunistic goal on his left foot, I think in the third quarter, which was really impressive. Someone just mentioned Max Heath. He was fantastic. He held his own against Rowan Marshall, and I know firsthand, as you guys probably saw with my video yesterday, dodging his handshake. He's a big unit. I've seen him up close. He's taller than Rowan Marshall. He's bigger than Rowan Marshall. So if he can learn, he's going to learn off Paddy Ryder and Rowe. It's going to fast track his development. He's going to be a very, very good ruckman, and we've got a lot of youngsters that are building up a really good level of depth for our team. We didn't have Caulfield obviously today. Highmore was there. I thought Oscar Adams was pretty good. The bloke from Port Adelaide, I forgot his name, Leonard. He was very impressive. Number 31 he wore today. I thought he did some really nice things. So he put his hand up to be signed. But so did Naish. So did Patrick Naish. I thought he was very good as well. And kicked, I think he kicked a good snag and was roaming around the ground and didn't stop chasing. Another kid, Bain from Sandy, he was very good. And there was so much to like about today. Jimmy Webster, really, his ball use was elite. Dean Kent had a lot of chances, but didn't didn't really take them. I think he 4 behinds. Hunter Clark got a lot of the ball. His ball use wasn't as clean as we'd like. Jack Higgins the same. A few minor chances. Didn't kick any goals, I don't think. And same with Dan Butler. Tried to do too many dribbles along the ground. Tried to do a few party tricks and needs to just get back to the basics. But again, it is an intra-club, so you can only judge to a certain level. You're not going to go full ball, and I'm not going to fume on anyone. They all tried their best. And that was the thing that I got from watching the game. It wasn't just the quality, like the kicking overall seemed a lot better to me. But it was also the level of intensity. Every possession, especially in that first half, was under enormous pressure. No one was taking a backward step. No one was thinking this is an intra-club, we're going to take it easy. Everyone was really treating this seriously, and I love that. And Hunter Clark was very vocal. Brad Crouch was very vocal. A lot of players that aren't in the leadership group were still barking orders, still telling players what to do, where to go. And if there was a drop-off in intensity, you could hear Steely and say, come on, boys, pull your fingers out. Let's keep it going. This is shit. Let's improve in the next 5-10 minutes. So Steely, obviously, we know he's going to be a fantastic captain, and he was last year, now being solo. But, he's just leading from the front. And it's good to see other players outside of the leadership group doing that. I don't know if I've missed anyone. Ben Long, I thought was very good. He read the ball really well. Matt's asking about Ben Patton, unscathed. I thought he did some nice things, put his body on the line. He's seriously put on some muscle, though, like up close. He broke his leg. He must have just stayed in the gym for 6 months because he's got serious pipes on him. Like a few Sainers that were standing next to him were just like, Jakey, look at Ben Patton. He's enormous now. And he is. He's going to be a handful for any small forward. He's still got his pace, but now he's going to be able to smash them. He's not going to be pushed around easily. And in terms of Gresham, he did some nice things, some good clearances, good shimmies and getting out of traffic like we know he can do really well. But, his finishing was still a bit off, but he's been out for a long time. He's missed about 20 games in 2 years. So you can kind of just be happy that Gresh got a game under his belt. I didn't think that he was one of our better players. I think some Sainers think he was and some don't. But obviously, for me, it was Jones, Sinclair, Sharman and Hill that were the most impressive. And then Burns, Dougal-Howard, and these sort of guys, Winhager and Owens, I thought they really stood out to me as well. So I think I covered every play there. Ron Marshall did some nice things. Dara Joyce was really, really good in the back half and just very similar to what he did last year. It was nothing amazing, but he wasn't beaten at all. And Matty Allison, I think he could be a little bit of an X factor. If we need another intercept mark, I think there's a chance that, who knows, he could debut. He's got a bit of size about him. He's put some more muscle on. And he seemed to read the ball really well, and his field kicking was great. David's asking about Jack Hayes. Jack Hayes did some really exciting things, David. He took some really big grabs, whereas, you don't expect a midfielder to do that, but he's 6'4", I think. He's like 193 centimetres, basically Rui's height. And moved really well, got around the ground, laid some good tackles. Just seemed to be, he just knew what he was good at and he stuck to that and got the job done. And the beauty with him is he can go forward and impact. He can go in the midfield. He can even go in the ruck. So there was a lot of flexibility. And I think, I don't know if I'm dreaming this, but I think Sharman even was trialled in the ruck at a couple of points in the game. So, and it was good to see him kicking goals, but then him moving back. Membry, I haven't mentioned. Again, really good forward of the ball. Just knows where to lead. Very clean with it. And then would move back, and there were passages where he would just rest in the back line and basically be the last man in defence. And that's something we've seen over the last couple of years, but I think it's going to be more prominent this year if we're under any sort of pressure. We've got Membry to rest back, and then we've still got King and Sharman to support. Someone's just mentioned Nasiah. Lockie Jones just asked about Nasiah. His kicking was great. I don't think he got a lot of the ball because I definitely didn't notice him like a whole lot. I think he probably struggled to get into the game, but that's, it's his first official hit out as an AFL player, so that's no problem at all. But you could tell that when he gets the ball, he really is confident with his field kicking, and I think you just got to watch Brad Hill, and he's just got to learn off Bradley Hill, and he'll grow from that and get better. And he's got next week against Carlton, and then against Essendon to have another hit out against AFL opponents, and then we'll be able to see if any of them can crack into the starting 22 for round one. Ben's asking, best first-year player. It's a tough one. I really think that Windhager or Owens were really good. I was really impressed with them. Sharman's not really a first-year player anymore, but he is just naturally talented, knows where the goals are, but he's also really smart around the ground. It's not just a forwards instinct. He really just has a good AFL understanding, and that came out today where he'd move back, move midfield, go into the ruck, go forward, kick a goal, and it's just no fuss for him. And there were reports that he was pretty flat at training recently, but that just doesn't show when he plays. He's probably the sort of bloke that just doesn't train with super intensity, but when he plays, he just is so naturally gifted that it just takes care of itself, and he can kick goals from anywhere, basically. So our forward line's looking good, our back line's looking pretty stable, and our midfield, I think, is something that people underrate, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to surprise a lot of teams this year and get a few scalps. Bytel, someone's asking, he was really good, especially early. His hands in traffic are elite. They are so quick. Like, you just don't understand. When he gets the ball, it's just straight out. And you can hear the handball from where I was standing. And he's just very clever, very clean with the ball, kicked a good goal on his left foot, very opportunistic in the forward half. And we love that. And that's, every good team needs midfielders that can impact the scoreboard. And he absolutely can do that. So I think that we got what we needed out of today. We got a good run. Everyone broke a sweat. Everyone was, when the siren went at the end, they were on their haunches. They were pretty stuffed. King worked really hard. He was on Battle at times, or Battle was on him, and then Dukes was on him. Joyce was on him. He had to handle some serious heat from a lot of different defenders, and he took some really good grabs, kicked a really, really impressive goal from the boundary around the corner, and most importantly, got through without any injuries. And that's the key thing, is get through this without any injuries, get some fitness, get an understanding of the game plan. And I thought the key thing I noticed in terms of game plan was the way we exited the back half. Instead of just going straight down the line, we'd kick it in from the point, kick it to the pocket, but then the next kick was always on an angle inboard, not completely into the center of the ground, but enough that when you got it inboard, you could have an option either side of players running past, or go further into the middle of the ground, or then cut wide again in case the opponent had kind of congested the middle of the ground. So it gives you more options, whereas if you just bomb it, there's just, it's a repeat 50 if you turn it over, or it just goes out of bounds and it's a dead ball and it's kind of nothing. But I think this is kind of a more attacking, a quite subtle way of doing it, but a more attacking way of exiting defensive 50. And I think we can all agree that one of the big issues last year, at least from my side, was when we're under our most pressure, it was because we couldn't kick it out of the back 50. We couldn't get it out. And that was our own doing. But now if we can get it out and rebound, because that's where we score when we rebound fast. If we can do that well, then we're laughing, and I think we're gonna win a lot of games this year, Sainers. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to go into crazy detail, because obviously it's a lot of opinions. I will say that the replay of I think the live stream will come out on Monday via the club. And if you didn't see, I was lucky enough to hop on and do a bit of commentary on the Saints channels, on their website, for the entire third quarter. So that was pretty surreal for me. And even yesterday, meeting the players and getting a photo, the last 2 days have been absolutely insane. So thank you to the club for getting involved and getting on the Saints TV bandwagon, and hopefully it's a sign of things to come. But yeah, thanks to all of you guys as well for tuning in, and 112 of you are tuning in, and I didn't really post about it, so I really appreciate that. At dinner time, I'm going to go all the way back to the top, and we're going to just check out some comments. How did Patton go from Hayden? He was great. Gresham, what did he do? Just does what Gresh Prince does, roams around, gets a good clearance. Probably should have kicked a goal, but shanked it a little bit. But, the best part for Gresh was just getting some fitness and getting through the game. So I'd be pretty happy with that. Anywhere to watch the live stream from today? That's from Baden. Monday, I think it'll be up on the Saints St Kilda Football Club YouTube channel, so you'll be able to rewatch it there. So they'll probably edit it and hopefully not cut me out of it, and you'll be able to watch it on Monday. But if it's out sooner, I'll make sure you guys know, and I'll post about it on all of the Saints TV channels. How was Clark? Scratchy, got a lot of the ball. I thought he got into space pretty well. They played him on the wing in the middle, kind of threw him around the ground just to see what works. But it was his disposal, which is usually his strength, but that let him down today. He missed a lot of easy 15, 20 meter passes. But again, it's Intraclub. This is the whole reason for the Intraclubs. It's not to get your game plan perfect. It's to iron out the imperfections. That's what I like to think. So get all the shit out of the way now. And then hopefully next week against Carlton, we'll see a strong lineup and we'll see an improvement. And then against Essendon, it's really kind of a dress rehearsal for round one. We can go into that full strength and beat Essendon, and then go into round one against the Pies in a month's time. Saying there's 1 month to go. Can you believe it? Tomorrow is exactly 1 month until round one. So I honestly can't wait. It's been a long time coming, but it's gonna be such a good year. Hopefully, if we can just stay injury free and get a good run in that regard. Gary reckons play Gresham just in the forward line, doesn't have the skills to play midfield, turns the ball over too much by foot. Yeah, probably agree with you there, but I think you've got Higgins and Butler there as well. You got a lot of smalls. You got to fit Ben Long in there if you can, maybe even D-Mac to play a defensive role if he's not on the wing. So there's a lot of options there, but I think he will definitely play midfield. They're not going to not play the Gresh Prince in the midfield. I thought Campbell was good from Luke. Yeah, I thought Campbell from North. We're all a bit skeptical about getting him, but he did some really good things. He was very aggressive around the ball. They couldn't get the ball off him, and he was very clean with his hands. He wasn't spastic and just getting it and handballing. He really did get it, knew what he was doing. He was clean with the footy, got into space, and he was quite mobile, a lot more mobile than I thought he would be. So he's definitely a player that if we need someone to fill a void in the ruck with Rowe or Paddy out, I think he's going to be quite serviceable, and he really did look pretty good today. So I think that's might be a better pickup than what we think at the moment. Brad's asking, could Allison replace Caulfield? Or if not, who will? Obviously, I think Highmore's the one. Oscar Adams is there. Even the Port bloke that played today, number 31, Jared Lennett, I think, or Lennett, had some good size. He could definitely play a third tall if we choose to sign him, but obviously he's got competition with Patrick Naish going for that position as well. Jaden saying, congrats on the club giving you a proper run, mate. Yeah, that's just something that I've been working towards ever since I started the channel, and full transparency, went to the club yesterday and got to chat with a few of the people in the marketing team and the social team, and some really good discussions, and hopefully this will be the start of a good partnership between the two. Obviously very early stages, but really excited to just have even Saints TV mentioned on the St Kilda Instagram today was pretty surreal for me. So hopefully it continues. Best first year player, I've answered that one already. Luke saying, hope Joyce's prediction is right that Jones will be our next A-grade midfielder. Look, it's looking pretty good after today. He looked very switched on, and to the point where he was smashing his teammates, and we all had to yell out from the stands, take it easy, Jonesy. They're your teammates, mate. Just a reminder that, don't break their legs just yet. Wait until round one to do that against Collingwood. A lot of questions about Gresh. King was very good. Did what he needed to do without getting injured. Great job, Jake. That's from Brad. Thanks a lot, Brad. Sam said, didn't see Marshy in the crowd. Yeah, Marshy, unfortunately, has been a bit sick. So he had to go get a COVID test and, played it smart. Didn't go to the game today. He was going to go, but unfortunately not. So it was just me there representing. But you'll definitely see Marshy at aisle 29 back at Marvel Stadium in a month's time, singing chants. He's got some new bangers that he's writing up. So I'll definitely post those when they come out. Josh is saying, love your work on the commentary, Godfather, a real natural. Thanks, mate. Thanks for that. And hopefully all of you Sainers that got to listen to me, enjoyed it. I was honestly pretty nervous, never done anything like that, and just basically through yesterday's meeting, got hooked up with that role of going on. I thought it was going to be for about 5 minutes, but it ended up being the entire third quarter, and in the end, it was a really cool experience, and yeah, hopefully it came across pretty well for you guys. Jesse's asking, how's Marshall looking? Marshall's looking very good, very mobile, and he's going to be very dangerous forward of the ball, I think. That's going to really set him apart from a lot of the other ruckmen, is the ability to go from centre ground, being a ruckman in the middle, to pushing hard forward and kicking goals. So he's going to be a serious player this year. Do you think we'll get Ben King for cheaper now? I don't, unfortunately. I think he's still going to be very expensive in the off season. But let's focus on 2022 and the players we've got right now, and then hopefully this time next year we'll be talking about what the opposition's going to do against Max and Ben King. I might wrap it there, Saners. Apologies, it's a bit of a shorter one, but yeah, I just wanted to hop on and kick the season off, and just let you guys know that there's a lot in the works. The podcast, hopefully in the next week or two, will be kicking off. There's a lot of news on that front that we're trying to negotiate at the moment, change of platforms and everything, but it won't affect anything on your end. You'll be able to listen to us on Spotify and Apple, everywhere anyway. It's some exciting news that I can't wait to share once it's all confirmed. In terms of the season proper, I'll be doing my live previews and live reviews back to the old school. Last year I trialed, the comments and everything appearing, but I kind of really just want to go back to what Saints TV started off as. And then the big news that we're trying to organise is fan cams, but at the ground. So we're trying to organise that as well. It'll be through Marshy at the front of any gate 1, gate 2 after game, so you can go and get in front of the camera right after the game, and that's going to be super exciting. So there's a lot of new things coming through. Saints TV Weekly potentially will come back during the season, if not definitely during the off-season next year. And yeah, so much going on, Sainers. So I'll leave it there. Thanks again for watching. I know that it was off the cuff and not planned, but I appreciate 150 of you that tuned in and commenting and supporting the channel straight off the bat. So hope you have a great rest of your Thursday night. I'll be at the game next week. I'll be at the Saints Carlton game at Icon Park from 10 a.m. next Thursday, the 24th, I think it is. So hopefully I'll see you then, and I'll may not do a live preview before that game, but I'll definitely do a live review after the game, and we can dissect it and hopefully talk about a big win. But until then, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next live and the next video. Take care, guys. Go you mighty Sainers.